Hello everyone, my name is Amrza Asadi from University of Cincinnati. Today I will discuss and present the research which I have done with my colleague at University of Salford, United Kingdom. Uh, the data collection of this research was primarily collected in Iran. The topic of this research is Metaverse Innovation Canvas, a tool for extended reality product service development. The reason that we explore this area is that the metaverse is in future socio-technical imaginary that is not existed yet. And this technology is not easy to be validated, and the planning and innovation process for startups is very unclear due to many changes in the dynamics of metaverse development. And this study explore this area. Billions of dollars has invested in AR VR startups, and many of them failed. You can go through Crunchbase. You see many startups raise funding, and these startups were not. Many of them were not defeated because of competitor, because they couldn't find the market. They couldn't reach to the customer. That these are the areas that we are going to explore. The questions are that what are the common factors leading to AR VR startup failures? And the second one is that how can we improve startup planning for extended reality ventures? The research involves three stages. At the first stage, we have done data collection and analysis. We collected the data of 29 AR/VR startups between 2016 to 2022. We conducted focus group. That there are five focus group sessions. We conducted content analysis and grounded theory to find the themes about these startups. Then we used autoethnographic design and a method to design and address the problems with existing business planning and startup planning framework. That is the most popular one is the Lean Canvas. And the first other tried to use his experience in that area to map the failed startups and existing literature to propose a new tool to help innovators and startups in the area of extended reality. And finally, we have done a expert validation with three startup consultants to review uh, five failed startup case. And we ask semi-structured questions through these focus groups and ask them to think that whether this framework can be used for them or not. We find out that these are failure factors of startups. First, the short time frame and lack of future planning. These startups focus on short-term trends, try to drive on these trends, and there has no long-term planning. At the same time, there were sometimes poor market timing. It's the opposite of what we said, that short-term trends, they come up with the mark adapters users lose their interest in extended reality. The second one is area, or second theme was scalability and hardware limitations. The idea of startups were good, but the existing AR/VR headsets couldn't meet the demands of users, the hardware costs stopped the adoption of these tools, and there were, in other words, there were a limited number of AR/VR headsets. Poor usability was another area, and value proposition. The systems has unintuitive user experience. There was lack of compelling AR or VR only specific benefits, and alternative solutions were more accessible. The other one was motion-based interaction issues. The startups try to implement like hand tracking that make experience more intuitive, but it make it more complex for the user. The comfort was difficult. The physical fatigue to move, finding the information of the users, the motions, even the animations were comprehend difficult by users. And the other one was that unclear problem definition. No specific user needs was addressed through these startups. Solutions looking for problems. They found of the solution, then they looked for the problem, and there was a poor problem solution fit. This is the link canvas that is used by many startups, and it's a very useful tool for planning. You explore how to create value, how to look at existing alternative, deliver value, measure value, create value, defend the value, look at who are the customers, revenue streams, and cost structures. That is a very useful tool in startups. But the problem, there are some problems that entrepreneurs and founders meet with these canvas. Is that when they try to define alternatives, they focus only on digital XR competitors. They said that, okay, there is no XR solution in this area, or there is no digital competitor, but there are existing traditional competitors. While the link canvas promotes that you need to look for limited alternatives, these alternatives would be in blind spot of the founders, um, and they don't consider broader market context. The other one is that they see XR as a value proposition, assuming that XR itself adds value to the solution, and they don't consider to know that how to justify additional user burden with these values. The user needs to wear a headset while we can use his phone. And the costs. The user has phone, it might be on a subscription plan, but you need to buy a very expensive headset, such as Microsoft HoloLens. Or today's we have Apple Vision Pro, $3,000-$4,000. And there was no problem definition. Poor validations methods were used by them. And these validation methods are not focused on the XR environment. They have a short-term focus. They didn't look at hardware limitations. The costs increased development cost. The complexity of development of XR solutions make it delaying validation. They delay the UX planning. They don't look at the physical demands of using XR and the complex XR interaction challenges. We come up with a new, we extend link canvas to meet the demand of XR extended realities. First, we try to improve the problem definition that it can address the user engagement needs, that they need focus drive, they need to do a transaction, or need to do the productivity. These areas are most based for immersive environment, and it can help the founders to better define their solution. Then they need to find the niche that they are using. It's like that something early adopters that in that specific area, so it helped them to make it more explicit, think about the area that they want looking. And we filtered alternatives through that existing extended reality alternative, existing no XR alternative, and existing non-digital alternative to reduce the blind spot of the users. And we see that, okay, is there any unique VR extended reality value proposition that justify the costs in the green space? And we considered future planning through these three blocks of existing scaling limitation, future threats such as native OS applications, maybe Apple or Meta release something and compete with your solution. Can you see that consider scaling of the system, or you may there are not always bad news. Maybe there are good news. You may try to find the trends that the costs of headsets were reduced by the specific year. And we implemented very important part in this area. The blue blocks that you see are all focused on user experience. We employed scenario-based design, the minimum viable experience scenario, the interoperability features, visual economy opportunity, social opportunity, VR UX opportunity, AR UX opportunity, motion-based interaction load, and expected usable session. It's a big problem, or expected daily engagement for each user. And this you may go through the Instagram 3 hours per day, but how many minutes per day you can take from the users? These are the planning. Then all are UX aspects of Metaverse. So by implementing, integrating UX elements at the beginning of business planning, we can make the business ideas more viable and desirable. We consider their feasibility without these UX consideration and putting the UX consideration through the future, and it would be we work on MVPs that takes hours to months to make. And it's hard to them, but scenario-based planning and these frameworks are made for this intention. So we propose this canvas and we see that, okay, how it can work in reality. We made a focus group with 3 startup consultants to explore 5 funnel startup case studies. And they identified that this model can help to identify XR exclusive benefits, improve differentiation strategies of startups, uh, if it means that they used this against they used these models against these startups and try to see that how it fits in their scenario in their case study. Usability consideration. If they use it, it could better justify motion interactions. It could help them be more future-proof, better Harvard assessment, and enhanced user experience planning. Generally, they come up with three main opinions that it's valuable for early stage planning, help to prevent common pitfalls, but maybe it says that startup founders require, they say that it's a good, but at the same time, what if XR has, they don't know, have XR expertise to use this system, to use this innovation tool to fully utilize it. Next is the key contributions of this article. We identified key AR/VR startup failure factors. We developed a specialized XR venture planning tool. We promoted human-centered design approach in startups and validated framework through expert testing. These are the limitations. The model was used based on a autoethnography. It's like the other first other has shared the experience and on experience on how people use the system, and it might be biased, and the number of experts that participated in these focus groups are limited. Future work should do quantitative validation, maybe considered expanded to considering other emerging technologies, considering geographical expansion, and more tools to use it to help long-term success tracking. Thank you. I appreciate the time you spent to listening to this presentation, and I'm happy to answer any questions.